lot going on around the world, but let's go over to the board and look at what's happening with the insect apocalypse. It's getting much worse than we ever could imagine. So let's talk about the locust swarms insect apocalypse. Locust swarms 3 times the size of New York City. The swarms in Africa and in other parts such as India are becoming bigger and bigger. The largest locust swarm in more than 50 years. Robert Cheeky, a biologist, I'm concerned about the scale of the devastation and the effect on human livelihoods. Cheeky, he also worried about the impending famine in these countries. New swarms are currently forming from Kenya to Iran. The UN, the outbreak requires urgent additional funding and technical help. The budget is already overwhelmed for insect control. Global warming is the culprit. It is disrupting the insect reproduction time. In the 1930s, swarms of grasshoppers destroyed crops in the U.S. Midwest. In fact, it was so bad they were eating the wooden shovels and picks that the farmers had. Anything that was made of wood was being eaten by the grasshoppers. They were so thick. This could happen again this year or next year here in the U.S. Cheeky said it's possible that the locusts could swarm into new regions. Now, we've been seeing the problem with the insect apocalypse here in the U.S. with the additional spraying of the new insecticides that are absolutely destroying not only the insects, but the birds and the beetles and all the beneficial insects that are around the world. What causes locust swarms? Well, the soil has to be wet and moist and warm enough to breed, and that's what's happening. And what happens is too many locusts are bred, and there's too many, and they get irritated with each other, and then they swarm trying to get away from each other. And then they get real hungry, they land on crops, and they just devour them. And the problem is that the warmer our planet gets, the worse this is going to get. We're going to have to use more and more insecticides to kill off these swarms just to save enough crops for humans to eat. The overpopulation issue is the same with all animals, pretty much. With all animals in livelihood, they get pissed off and they try to escape each other into new regions. And that's just the way that works on a finite planet. The problem is there's no new places to really go to, is there? So on my last video, lots of comments. We have a commenter here in the building that Pink Barrio is in, and she really likes to comment on the board. Last time I let that happen, I put it out in the hallway and someone stole the board and took it down the street, and I found it. I put it out again just for the hell of it, and she left another comment. So this comment has to do with the last video. A lot of people are into language, and it's so important to worry about getting it exact. I certainly have a lot of trouble with language, don't I? Huh. So, on a beautiful, sunny, warm day here in California, everyone's waiting to see if everyone's going to go outside or not in the heat. But it does look like the places that are quarantining themselves, the numbers are starting to go down for the coronavirus. Let's hope that it starts to improve and not get worse, because this planet is going to get worse every day as global climate change continues. I appreciate all the ups and downs, and especially the comments. I appreciate the comments on the last video. And until next time.